Good morning, students. Chapter Insulation Part 2. Recap of chapter. In the last video, we have discussed about the insolation and terrestrial radiation. Insolation is incoming solar radiation. Sun gives it heat and light, 100% of it, but Earth receives only 51%. Why? Because on the way when sun rays are reaching to the Earth's surface, it is reflected back or absorbed, reflected back by the clouds, snowfields, ocean, and other water bodies. It is also scattered by dust particles and solid particles. It is absorbed by the carbon dioxide and other gases, and whatever is reached is only 51%, and this 51% heat up the Earth's surface. Now, difference between insolation and terrestrial radiation. Insolation is incoming solar radiation. It is in the form of short waves. Why short waves? Because it is already reflected back in the space while coming back, so very small amount is reaching, so it is through the short waves. It heats the Earth's surface. When it reaches to the Earth is heated by insolation, that is incoming solar radiation. Terrestrial radiation, the heat radiated by the Earth, means because of insolation the Earth is heated up. Now after some time it starts releasing its heat. Earth is releasing its heat, and this heat is known as terrestrial radiation. And this heat is in the form of a long wave. Means when the Earth releasing its heat, it is absorbed by the gases which are present near the Earth's surface, and then it reaches to the highest limit in the atmosphere. As the gas is heated by the terrestrial radiation, so our atmosphere. Now, factors affecting the temperature: latitude, altitude, distance from the sea, wind, slope of the land, and ocean currents. These are the factors which affect the temperature of any place. First factor, latitude. Latitude is an imaginary line running on the surface of the Earth. It is parallel to each other. The shape of the Earth is spherical or joint, and because of that the angle of incidence of sun rays is not the same everywhere on the Earth's surface. If you see this is the direct area, sun rays, this is sun, and sun rays is reaching directly towards the equator. But as we move towards either to the northern or the southern part, sun rays become slanting, and reaching to the poles it is almost slant or oblique. So the places which is near to the equator always receive direct sun rays, and the temperature of this area, that is in between the tropics, that is Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn, the temperature is always high and is also known as torrid zone. So as we go higher latitude, the amount of temperature decreases because it is getting the slanting sun rays. Like vertical sun rays of the sun, which reaches to the area, covers a very less area, and it heat up that area, so the temperature of that area is more. But as the slanting rays pass through the atmosphere covering a large area, so because of that the temperature is less. As Earth is spherical in shape, so the different areas get different amount of heat. Just take an example, like this is sun. Its sun rays reaches directly over the equator, and because of this area have a high temperature because it is heating up a smaller area, so the temperature is higher here, striking directly. But if the sun rays is reaching in a different areas in a slanting sun, through the slanting sun rays, what happens? It passes through the large area covering of thickness of the atmosphere and spread over a larger area, and because of that what happens, the temperature here will be less. Just take an example. if you have two glasses filled with the water, you pour the water from the top, from the glass A, what happened? The water will go deep inside the soil, and when you take out the soil, dig the soil, you find the thickness of the wetness. In the same amount of the glass water, if you throw it in a slanting form, what happened? It covers a large area. And if you try to take out the see the thickness of the soil, you find it is very less. In the same way, when the sun rays falls directly over any place, it heats up that area more, while slanting sun rays covers a large area, so the temperature is little less as compared to the direct sun rays. Just take an example. This is the area of Zaire. Direct sun rays here, so the temperature may be 45 degree Celsius. If we come near to this area, this is Egypt area. Here the temperature may be 35 degrees Celsius. And we are coming to European countries. Here the temperature will be 15 degree Celsius. So this is the variation we get in the different heat zone. Heat zone means torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone. So the temperature is a difference. Why? Because of the slanting sun rays. Altitude. Altitude is normal lapse rate. Normal lapse rate means at the height of 166 meters or 167 meters. Why I am just saying? Because different book have different reference of this number. So at the height of 166 meters or 167 meters, there is a -1 degree of temperature. So this process is known as normal lapse rate. This normal lapse rate tell us or explain us difference in the temperature between plains and the mountainous region. Just take an example, like this is a plain area and we start moving to the higher region. Okay, here at the plain in the month of June, the temperature is 45 degree Celsius. Okay, as we trying to reach to the high area, we cover the area of 166 meters, -1 degree of temperature. Okay, so it was 44 degrees Celsius, and so on. As we are moving higher and higher, we get the temperature like at the height of 4000 meters, the temperature is 5 degree Celsius, or sometime it will be in -5 degree Celsius. Why this happens? Because the earth, when get heated by the sun rays, what is 51%? Okay, and this is reflected back. This is insolation. So after that, what happens? Start giving out its heat. It's giving its heat. So the air which is present near the surface, the gases which is present near the surface, heated up. It get heated up. What happened? This air heated up and the molecules get scattered. And it start spread up and start rising higher. When it start rising higher away from the earth's surface, what happened? It start cooling down. When it's cooled down, then the temperature on the mountainous region will be less. Now just take an example of two places. Like we have a Delhi, which is a plain area, and any mountainous or hilly area. So in the month of June, the temperature here is 45 degree Celsius, and here in the mountainous region, like we have a Mussoorie, Nainital, Ranikhet, all these places have a less temperature, about 5 degree Celsius. Okay, now why this happens? It is because of normal lapse rate. Because as from the plain area, when we start moving to the mountainous region, the temperature decreases, and this is why, because the earth starts releasing its heat in the form of terrestrial radiation. The gases which is present in this area, this area is a plain area, and as we move to the high area, what happened? It start releasing its heat, and we have a gases in the surrounding region. So these gases heat up, molecules get scattered, and start rising higher and higher. So when it moves to the higher limit, it cools down. So because of that, the temperature is less in the mountainous region. Now another example from India. Here this is equator, this is the southern part of India, and this is Tropic of Cancer. Here we have Nilgiri Hills in the southern India, and in southern Nilgiri Hills we have one place called Udak Mandalam or Annamalai. These are so many places, hilly areas are there. So surrounding region, the temperature is about 35 degree Celsius. But this is a hilly area. Here the temperature the people experience is 15 degree Celsius. Why? Again, because from the plain, as they move to the higher region, what happens? Air cools down and it results into less temperature. So during the month of June also, that, or you can say April, May, June, July, it always have a pleasant weather condition. Wind. What is wind? Moving air is known as wind. We have a prevailing winds or permanent winds. It means that it have always fixed direction of its movement. Like if the wind is moving coming from the northeast, so it always comes from northeast. If it comes from the southeast direction, so always southeast. If it is coming from northwest or southwest, so it always flows in the same direction, and this direction gives the heat or coldness to the place. Like the wind which is coming from the China means you can say we have a Gobi desert, which is considered as the cold desert, or Siberia towards India. So what it brings during the winter season, it brings the cooler condition. The temperature will be lower during the winter. Okay, but in summertime, what happens? The wind blows from sea to land. So what happens? The wind which is blowing over the sea or a water body is cool, and its effects can be seen in the coastal area. And sometimes it carries lot of moisture, that when it reaches to the coastal area, or if in India it is the orographic rainfall, so if it strikes with any physical feature, it results into rainfall. So it is common. So wind, we have a sea breeze and land breeze. Sea breeze blows during the daytime from sea to land, and land breeze blows during the night time from land to sea. That is a onshore and offshore wind. Now apart from that, we have a local winds. Local winds means it is according to the atmospheric condition of that particular region. Like you are aware of the word Lu. What is Lu? It is a hot, dusty, dry wind which blows in the northern part of India. That is from West Rajasthan to Uttar Pradesh region. Okay, so this wind is heated up. It also causes the sunstroke. Sunstroke means if any person get the more heat, it will fall. The person will fall ill. In the same way, we have a Mistral and Bora. This wind blows in the Mediterranean coast of Europe. Mediterranean Sea is the southern part of Europe. So the southern part of Europe experiences the Mistral and Bora. These are the cold wind. In the area of Rockies Mountain in North America, we have one wind which is known as Chinooks. Okay, so it is also help in melting up of snow in Rockies Mountain. So these are the different winds which blows according to the atmospheric condition. Remember, wind always move from a high pressure to low pressure region. That is the atmospheric condition, pressure. So always move from a high pressure to low pressure region. Influence of ocean currents. In previous chapter we have done ocean currents and tides. So what is ocean current? Ocean current is a horizontal movement of water, and this ocean current moves because of Coriolis force and direction of a wind. So any place, means you can say this is the equator. From equator, when the water moves towards the pole, it is warm. Why it is warm? Because near the equator the temperature is high, so the water is warm as compared to the surrounding region. And from the poles, when the water comes towards the equator, it is colder. So the warm water is lighter, so it flows on the surface, while water which is coming from the pole region is cold, it is dense, it flows below the warm water. Warm ocean current, when it flows near the coastal area, what it do? It brings the moisture from the water body, and this coastal area receives rainfall. So it always have a moderate climatic effect. But on the other side, if water is coming from the colder region, what will happen? It will bring the coldness, and the wind which is blowing over it will be dry, and when it reaches the coastal area, it will not cause any rainfall, but slowly and slowly this area will change into a dry condition, or it will develop into a desert. But in the same way, if it is a warm current and cold current comes and meet together, then it creates fog, which is harmful for the navigation, but it is good for fishing ground, because in this area planktons develop, and these planktons are food of fishes. So this area becomes the big fishing ground. So for the economic condition it is good. Even ocean currents do the distribution of temperature on the earth, because if it is a warm current, it brings the moisture, it results into the rainfall and distribution of rainfall, while the cold current, when it flows, it brings the cold condition and the temperature will come down. Slope of the land. Slope of the land means this is the mountain, okay, this is the slope, here also you can see the slope, okay. Now the sun rises from the east, and whatever the physical feature is present there, just facing the sun will have a high temperature and opposite will have a less temperature. Like this is the area which receives the direct sun rays, and opposite here having a less or a cooler effect. As the earth rotates, and if this portion comes in front of the sun, then the temperature will increase more in this region and less here in this part. You can see here south facing and north facing. If we see that this is the area of the mountain in the northern part of India, Himalayas, okay, we have, this is the mountain. So as the sun rises from the east and moves in this way and sets in the west, so what happened? This is the northern part of Himalaya and this is the southern part of Himalaya. So as the earth is rotating, what happens? The sun rays is towards the southern portion of the mountain, and here this side it is less, so here the temperature will be less, but this side the temperature will be more. This is the now slope of the land means whatever the place is facing the sun will always have a high temperature, and the other side remain in shadow, so the temperature will be less. I just give you example, a simple example which you had experienced already. This is your school building, this is a playground, sun rises from here and you had your classes this side, both the side. So this side classes always experienced more temperature, you have a curtains in your classroom, okay, but opposite side classroom have less temperature, they have a cool condition. So in the same way, when the sun in the morning from here to shift in the evening this side, so what happened? The temperature of this area will increase little bit, and here it will decreased. So this is, you can say, this is the area of your classroom. You have a benches here, curtain put here. This is A side and this is B side. Sun shines slightly here, and here the temperature is high. Opposite side in a shadow, so the temperature is less. But when the sun moves and come on the western side, what happens? Here on the B section the temperature will increase and A section temperature will decrease. In the same way, when we have a mountains or a plateaus or whatever place is there which is facing the sun, will always have a high temperature, while the other portion which is in a shadow will have a less temperature. So this is about the slope of the land. I think the factors are clear to you, and you know about the difference between the insolation and terrestrial radiation. If you have any question, you are free to ask. Thank you.